Welcome to my channel, Quiet Rich. Turn on bell icon, like, share.
In a world where more is often seen as better, there's a quiet movement happening, one that celebrates less, but better. Instead of chasing endless possessions, people are finding joy in owning fewer things, but making sure each one is meaningful, timeless, and exquisite. This is not about deprivation, but about intentional living, where quality takes center stage over quantity. Today, we're diving into the philosophy and lifestyle of embracing fewer but finer things, and why this approach could change not just how you live, but how you feel about life itself. For decades, society has pushed us toward consumerism. The advertisements, the shopping malls, and now the endless scroll of online stores all tell us the same thing. Buy more, upgrade constantly, and measure success by the volume of your possessions. But at the same time, people are feeling more overwhelmed, more cluttered, and less satisfied than ever. That's because filling your life with stuff rarely fills the deeper needs we all have for peace, purpose, and beauty. And that's where this idea of owning fewer but exquisite things comes in. Think about it. What feels more special? Having 20 shirts in your closet, most of which you barely wear, or having 5 perfectly tailored ones made of fabrics that feel amazing against your skin? Would you rather own 10 pairs of shoes that wear out quickly, or 2 pairs handcrafted to last years, each time you wear them reminding you of the artistry and care that went into making them? This is the heart of the philosophy, choosing fewer items but elevating your daily life with pieces that hold value, beauty, and durability. When you choose quality over quantity, every object becomes more than just a possession, it becomes an experience. Imagine drinking coffee from a delicate porcelain cup instead of a cheap mug. The act of sipping that coffee suddenly feels richer, more mindful. Or consider writing in a leather-bound journal instead of a flimsy notebook. The weight, the texture, the way the pen glides across the paper. It turns writing into a ritual rather than a chore. These small choices transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. But let's talk about the deeper benefits of this lifestyle. First, there's clarity and simplicity. When you own fewer things, your space naturally becomes less cluttered. You're no longer overwhelmed by piles of clothes, stacks of gadgets, or endless knick-knacks. Instead, your environment feels calm, organized, and purposeful. A clear space often leads to a clearer mind. Second, there's appreciation and mindfulness. When you only own a few carefully chosen things, you truly value them. You notice the details, the stitching on a handmade bag, the craftsmanship of a mechanical watch, the softness of premium bedding. These details might be lost if you were surrounded by dozens of alternatives. But with fewer, you savor more. Third, there's sustainability. Choosing well-made items often means they last longer. You buy less, throw away less, and reduce waste. Instead of cycling through disposable fast fashion or cheap gadgets, you invest in things that stand the test of time. This is not only better for the planet but also better for your wallet in the long run. Now, some people might argue, but quality costs more, and yes, it often does upfront. But here's the mindset shift. Buying one exquisite thing that lasts years often costs less than buying many cheap alternatives that break down and constantly need replacing. It's the difference between buying 5 $50 coats over a decade versus one $200 coat that looks and feels better and lasts the entire time. Quality is an investment, both financially and emotionally. Let's bring this philosophy into real-life examples. Picture your home. Instead of cluttering your shelves with random decor items from impulse buys, imagine having just a handful of carefully chosen pieces, an artisan vase, a framed photograph that tells a story, a handcrafted lamp. Your space feels curated, intentional, and filled with meaning. Or consider your wardrobe. Instead of stuffing your closet with clothes that don't fit quite right, you own fewer pieces that are versatile, timeless, and tailored to your style. Each time you get dressed, it feels effortless yet elegant. This way of living extends beyond objects. It's also about experiences. Instead of chasing every new trend or superficial luxury, people who embrace this philosophy invest in fewer but deeper experiences. Maybe it's traveling less often, but staying longer in places that truly resonate with you. Or dining out less frequently, but savoring meals at restaurants where the food is made with love and artistry. It's the difference between skimming across the surface of life and immersing yourself fully in its richness. There's also a psychological shift that happens when you live this way. By choosing fewer but exquisite things, you're saying no to constant comparison and yes to your own standards. You're no longer measuring success by how much you accumulate but by how deeply you enjoy what you have. This mindset creates freedom from social pressure, from consumerist noise, and from the constant urge to upgrade. Of course, embracing this lifestyle doesn't mean throwing everything out and starting over. It's a gradual journey. Start small. Look at one area of your life, your clothes, your kitchen, your desk. Ask yourself, which items bring me joy, elevate my daily life, and hold real value? And which are just taking up space? Begin to let go of the excess and slowly replace it with fewer, better alternatives. Over time, your entire life will begin to feel more intentional, more refined, and more aligned with what truly matters. Another beautiful aspect of this lifestyle is the sense of identity it creates. Each exquisite item you own becomes part of your story. That leather bag that was handcrafted in Italy, that vintage record player that belonged to your grandfather, that one ring you always wear because it symbolizes a milestone in your life. These aren't just objects. They're expressions of your journey, your taste, and your values. They connect you to history, to culture, and to meaning. Now, let's not ignore the emotional joy. There is something deeply satisfying about using items that are beautiful, well-made, and meaningful. Every time you touch them, you feel uplifted. They remind you that life doesn't have to be ordinary, it can be extraordinary, even in the smallest details. Owning fewer but exquisite things is, at its core, about surrounding yourself with beauty, craftsmanship, and intention. And when your outer environment reflects that, it has a ripple effect on your inner world, making you calmer, happier, and more fulfilled. So, the joy of owning few but exquisite things is not about restriction, but about liberation. It's freedom from clutter, freedom from mindless consumption, and freedom from the pressure to constantly chase more. It's about choosing quality, meaning, and beauty in every aspect of your life. And when you embrace this philosophy, you'll realize that you don't need more to live richly, you just need better. If this idea resonates with you, maybe it's time to take a look at your own life. What could you let go of? What could you upgrade? And how might your life feel different if you surrounded yourself only with things that truly matter? Remember, less is not less when it's filled with more meaning. In fact, owning fewer but exquisite things might just be the key to living a richer, more joyful life.
Thanks for watching video.